Hello and welcome to Harv's World. Today we are playing the very first episode of a Let's Play series on the Pacific Northwest map that I am calling Born in Idaho. I think the first thing we're going to do to get started, we're going to take a look around and see what all we have to start with. Now I did start this on new farmer mode, so we do have some equipment. There's plenty of stuff on the farm itself, but I think we're probably going to need money more than stuff, so we're going to take a look at getting rid of some of that. Now to start with on this map, we are in this area, which is up on a ridgeline overlooking a valley across this river. We own fields 22, 12, and 11. Both, or all three, are smallish fields, especially 11 and 12. We're going to look and see what we can do with those getting started. And then as far as equipment goes, in our garage we've got a Massey Ferguson 5610. We've got the John Deere 6135, the John Deere T560 harvester, a rodeo pickup that I brought with me myself, a decent sized AgriLiner trailer that should carry us for a little while, John Deere header, small plow, seeder, sprayer. Anyway, getting back to this, I'm going to get rid of most of this stuff. The two tractors for sure. I think we can, for the kind of money that we can get for these, we can buy a couple of other tractors that are going to carry us a little bit farther into the future. These have pretty low horsepower to start with, so we're going to look into that. I'm going to keep the harvester. I think this harvester will do well. It's a nice medium-sized harvester. It's got a 10,000 liter capacity and will handle most of what we need, so we are going to stick with that at least for now. Trailer, obviously. I'm going to get rid of the plow and the seeder. I don't see those being terribly effective for us at the moment. We do better with a subsoiler or a cultivator, and we can get a planter that'll work better on smaller fields. I just think this one's too long and bulky for our uses right now. I don't plan on needing a header trailer. It's not worth a lot, so I might hang on to it just in case, but I don't see a need for it at the moment. Sheep pasture, definitely not interested in raising sheep. I think we're going to go with some other livestock, but sheep is not going to be one, so we'll be getting rid of that, and in fact I'll just sell that now. This grain silo is a nice mid-sized grain silo, 200,000 liters. Will handle most of our crops, so that will be sticking around. Now we've got 3 easy sheds, which are nice. I don't mind easy sheds at all. However, one of these easy sheds right over here really kind of blocks our access to this field a little bit, and so I'm going to say goodbye to that. Open that up just a little bit, make it easier to get around. And there's a lot of decorative items. Now I know this old barn is decorative, but I think it gives the farm character, so we're going to hang on to that for a little while. I just like the look of it. But these farm sheds, you know, if they had opening doors, if they had something we could use them for, that would be one thing, but right now they are just taking up space, so we are going to do away with those and take that money and run. The farm shack is the same way, and this farm hut also doesn't really benefit us in any way, so we are going to do away with that. Okay. Now with regard to our other equipment, that's going to need to be run down to the store and sold off so that we can get the maximum amount of money we can get from it. Again, we're trying to start with as much money as we can and utilize that so that we can move forward into the future and not just be struggling right out of the gate. We've got a few hay bales here. Those will benefit us. Water tanker here. I think we'll be able to use that. We are going to get into some type of livestock. I'm just not sure yet, but I know I didn't want to do sheep. Now this field that we're on right now, this is just grass. We can mow that, turn it into silage bales, hay bales, anything, so I think we'll be looking at sticking with that for the moment. We'll probably end up leasing some equipment to deal with that. I'm sure buying anything at the moment other than the bare necessities is going to be out of the question. Now this field here looks cultivated and ready to go, but no, it needs plowing, it needs lime, so we're going to have to work on that as well. And that just tells me more of what we need. We don't have a lime spreader at the moment, so we will definitely be looking into one of those. We're kind of split up here. We're in 3 different sections, just mostly separated by road. Actually totally separated by road. But to start with, I'm going to start moving vehicles down to the shop, selling them off. We'll see what kind of money we have when everything is sold, and start replacing equipment. So I will see you at the shop when everything has been sold off. Okay, so I am at the shop. I've just finished selling off everything that I wanted to sell, and we've got almost $400,000 at this point, $391,343, that we can look at buying some slightly better equipment with. So let's take a look. Now we're going to want a small tractor and a medium tractor. As small tractors go, looking into this a little bit, even though the Valtra is cheaper, it doesn't quite have the power that I would like to see. So we are going to go with the Fendt Favorite. I really like this tractor. I'm a Fendt fan, and I will admit it. And it's got kind of an old school feel to it, but it also has a 3-point attacher with a PTO on the front. We can utilize that and make sure that we've got the front loader attacher on there as well for doing some of our dirty work. Stuff that you don't really want to see me do, because frankly I'm not that great with a with a loader, but we do what we can. And we are going to stick with that for now at $77,500. That is a bargain I can live with. Now the nice thing about this is it will power up to 150 horsepower, and we might just look into doing that in the future, but for now we're going to go with the base model with the front loader attacher. Next we want a mid-size tractor, and I can almost bet you know where I'm going with this, because we're kind of going a little bit old school at the moment, but for the money you can't beat the K7200 Pro Series. And the reason you can't beat it, right here, horsepower. It starts at 170 and it jumps up all the way to 261. Oh, excuse me. And that is something that will carry us pretty far into the future. It will keep us going for quite some time. So I know that is the direction we're going, and I'm even going to go ahead and take the full horsepower right now. It's probably going to be doing some of our bigger jobs, so I am going to get just a little bit more wheel, get some wide tires with weights on there. Again, this is going to be our heavy lifter for the time being. At 146.5, I can live with that. Okay, so we got rid of the plow, we got rid of the seeder. We're going to need to replace those. As far as plows go, I think looking into these subsoilers, I know there's one that I like in particular. No, it was under plows. It is under plows. And it's the Lizard 6M subsoiler. It looks like a plow. It acts like a plow. It's called a subsoiler, but it will create new fields, and I'm sure we're going to be needing that at some point too. At only $17,000, again, can't beat it. It's all mine. Now the main color is going to be crimson. Design color is going to be Agco Gray. That is pretty much my color scheme. You'll be seeing that a lot. Anytime I can do crimson and gray, I'll pretty much be doing crimson and gray. Oh, that helps if you hit the buy button, however. There we go. Okay, now we need a planter. It would be nice to be able to get a cedar planter at the same that does the same thing, but those are few and far between and outrageously expensive. We are going to look at some that are a little bit wider and not as hard on the pocketbook. Now this John Deere, it's nice. It does seed and fertilizer, and at only 6,000, that might be something we can't live without. The Kverneland, however, only does seed. I am sold on the John Deere, and we are going with that at $6,000. I think we'll just stick with the standard wheels on that. Okay. Next thing we're going to need, because I know we need lime, we are going to need a spreader. Now the Bredals are really nice. They're also really expensive. Agromash, not too bad. It will do fertilizer or lime. But there is the Bruins MBA 12,000. Almost the same size as the other, and it's only 24,500. That's what I was trying to spit out there pathetically. Okay, so we are definitely going to pick this up for 24. And I think that's pretty much going to cover us for the moment. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that we are going to need. We've got seed. We've got fertilizer. We do not, however, have dry fertilizer. Oh, I need big bags. We have liquid fertilizer. We do not have solid fertilizer, so we will pick up one of those. And let's go out in the parking lot and see what we've got. Alright, there's our fent. We've got our case. Our plow, nice. Cedar, nice. This is going to be a lime spreader for the time being. I bought the fertilizer for the cedar. So let's start by getting this stuff hauled back to the farm. I will see you there when it's all back in place. Okay, so I've just returned to the farm, dropping off our cedar. Everything is here. Everything's ready to go. And I think we've got a little bit of work cut out for us to get these fields ready. So, let's get on that. I'm going to start by obviously harvesting this field. Get our trailer ready. And let's take a look at this John Deere. Okay, we're off and running. So at this point what we need to do is get this field harvested. Need to get this straw baled up because we want to keep that, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. We need to get this field limed and plowed. We need to get field 11 limed and plowed I'm going to think about what we're going to do with field 12, the grass field. Probably going to need to mow and bale that as well. And then figure out what we want to plant to keep things moving and start having some money coming in. Now what I'm thinking about right now is animals. And we've got an oat field, we've got straw, and there were some hay bales over there, and we've got a grass field. We can make more hay if we need it. I'm thinking we're going to go with some horses. The thing I like about horses is they are almost guaranteed income. They do take a little bit of work. You know, you got to train them every day. But if we could get on a rotation where we're buying 4 horses every 3 days, then once we get to the end of the first training session, sell those off, we buy 4 more, and then we can get into a rotation where we've got that money coming in every 3 days from selling horses. And that rotation will carry us a long way into the future. You know, one rotation of horses, that could be, you know, almost a new tractor. You know, half the price of a harvester, maybe a little more than half the price of a harvester. So that's going to be good money right out of the gate. And we're not going to limit ourselves to that. I'm trying to think where we're going to go with all of this. Cattle ranching is really big in Idaho. I know that for a fact. I lived there for about 15 years. But there is a lot of arable farming too. And there is quite a bit of forestry. So this map provides pretty much every one of those options. We're not limited by anything. Now up here on the ridge, we're going to call this the bench in Idaho. A lot of times areas like this were called the bench or benches, up out of the valley into the foothills. Up here on the bench we've got smaller fields, we've got a little more forestry. Down in the valley we've got lots and lots of arable farming opportunities, and we're going to take advantage of those opportunities in a big way. Oh yeah. do like to try to keep the vehicles as repaired as possible. I'm not going to say that I get it done every time, but I like to keep up on that because at some point they're going to break down, and we are not having that. Or be in such bad shape that they just aren't doing the job that they are supposed to be doing. So, in my opinion at least, staying on top of maintenance is an important factor. And I would bet any real-life farmer would say the exact same thing. And like I said, we are going to keep the oats we just took off that field. I think it was about 11,000 liters. We do have the silo we can dump them in. We will dump them in. And I am going to take care of that right now, dump those off, and then think about how I want to get started, because we've got a lot to get done on these two fields. I'm not so worried about the grass just at the moment. It can stay, nothing's going to harm that. But as far as getting these two fields planted again, there's a lot to do. I think I'm probably going to hire a worker to help out, because I'm going to need to go get a baler, and we're going to be leasing that. We just don't have the finances right now to manage purchasing a baler. Even the smallest one runs $49,000, which is the one we're going to end up leasing, I'm sure. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We might get to a point where we physically need to have one ourselves, but for a small situation like we find ourselves in at the moment, there's no point in buying one. Especially, we're not going to sell these bales, at least not right away. We might have more than we need, but I doubt it. But we're not going to recoup the cost of leasing this baler, so... And we're definitely not going to be recouping the cost of buying the baler. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is get this thing filled up with lime. One of the nice things about the Pacific Northwest is there are lime stations. A few of them scattered around, water stations also. So water and lime are never too far away, and I know there is a lime station just down the road from our farm that's going to come in very handy. If any of you have ever done lime before, you know it does not go very far. So this 8,000 liters, we need to do two fields. They're smaller fields, and we're probably going to have to fill up a second time. In fact, I'm almost sure we will. But we shall see. One of the things about this map that really gives you a feel for Idaho and what's out there is that anywhere you stand, you look around, you see foothills and mountains. Here's our lime station right here. Like I said, they're scattered around the map. This isn't too far from the farm. But anyway, I spent most of my time in the Boise area, and it's in the valley. It's in a valley known as the Treasure Valley. And standing in Boise, anywhere you look, there are foothills leading into the mountains in every direction. And that's where epideath has really caught the feel for Idaho. Here's any direction you look, there are foothills. And we don't get any of the mountains that, well, yeah, we're leading into some pretty good sized hills up there, but just, I don't know, there's something amazing, something beautiful about being able to look out in any direction and just see the mountains out there. And when you drive up into them, it's spectacular. Because Boise is technically considered desert, it's a desert community, even though it doesn't really seem like it. It's part of the, still in the desert area that leads up out of Nevada. It's known as the high desert, even though it's more arid. But once you start moving out of Boise up north, and you start really getting into the mountain ranges, you really start to notice the difference. And it's impressive, truly impressive. Okay, so I'm hiring a worker. I am going to have him, or her, I guess it's a her this time. I'm going to get her to take care of this field for us, and I'm going to see about a baler. What have we got? Yeah, like I said, even the cheapest baler here is $49,000. That's the one we're going to go with. It's only going to be $2,500 to lease. We're going to need it for less than an hour, so we shouldn't have the operating expense. Oops. Well, let's run down to the store and grab that. This is my first experience with Farming Simulator. I'm really glad that I found it, happy that I found it. It's been great. Especially once I discovered the modding community. And I'll tell you, Giant Software has done a really good job of putting out a respectable base game, but it's the modders who really make this game into something special. Really push it beyond what is a very good, respectable game into something even better. Far, far better. It's almost miraculous what the modders have done, and you know, I don't know why they do it. Are they doing it for recognition? Are they doing it to pad resumes? I really don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm incredibly grateful that they do, because man, do they ever add so much more to what was already a good game. And we got our baler turned on, we've got the pickup dropped, and this thing moves at a pretty good clip, so it shouldn't take us too terribly long to do these bales. I'm gonna hazard a guess at about 17. It looks like the baling is done. Just cleaning up the last few scraps of straw, hoping we could get there, but it's not going to happen. So we are going to lose out on 2,138 liters. I don't think that's going to break us, but to be honest, I would much rather have that stored somewhere. Oh well. life will go on. It's not like there won't be more straw in our future. There's going to be plenty, I can assure you. I'm going to get this baler returned. I don't want to pay for extra time. But the first thing that I want to do before that gets taken care of is we got that field is limed up there. I'm going to throw some fertilizer on it. And I knew this was already full, so we are going to run this up to field 11. I'm going to see about having our worker come back in and fertilize this up for us. I hope they won't have a problem with that. Not quite there. Shouldn't take them long. This is a good wide fertilizer, assuming you can line it up properly, which I'm not doing at the moment. Still don't think that's quite right. Nope. There we go. That'll do. Okay, they are off and running. I'm going to go grab the fent. Put the lime spreader away. And I know I could just have the guys come and pick up that baler, but I'm going to drive it down because I do need to pick up that pallet of fertilizer so I can grab the just grab the front loader equipment, run down there that way. And on top of that, I'm going to need the front loader to put those bales away. I don't know about you guys, but I get in a hurry backing up, and then I start screwing it up. I just want to get it done, and if I would just take my time and focus a little bit, it would go in so much easier. But no, I've got to have a lead foot all the time. I want to go, 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 get it done. Baler. These red forks on here, this tractor looks like Christmas. Somebody called Santa Claus, I done stole his colors. Okay, back down the hill we go. Okay, well that was relatively painless. Relatively. Let's see, I'm gonna bop over here, grab some bale forks, because we need to clear those bales before we can do anything else on that field. Check on my worker. Yeah, I thought the worker would be done by now. I kept saying that this tractor, the K7250, would carry us into the future. It's not going to carry us very far into the future if I keep driving like that. Not very far at all. Again, that's it. I get a lead foot. I get in a hurry. I just want to get stuff done, and that kind of thing happens. I need to chill just a little bit, I guess. And I think for plowing, I'm going to want to grab the weight just to be safe. It probably doesn't need it, but okay, we're going to get a worker on this also while I go collect bales. Or I should say, while I go play in the field and give you reasons to laugh at how horrible I am at using these forks. But we'll do the best we can to get this job done. It shouldn't be too terrible, we'll see. So that's the last bale coming off this field. Didn't do too bad, 17. Got them stacked up here over by the barn. And our worker did finish plowing up field 11, so that's ready to plant for the moment, we are going to... Actually, maybe I'll have her plant that. Maybe. And while we do need to get some money coming in, that field is small enough that it seems to me we could set that up to benefit us indirectly, and by that I mean, yes, we've got some oats, but I don't think those oats are going to carry us very far, so I think we're going to go ahead and throw oats in that field one more time. Let's bring the plow back over, grab the seeder, set that up for oats. Now this has been fertilized once. I know the seeder also fertilizes, so I'll be interested to see. Since it was plowed after being fertilized, that should have changed the field's state. And that being the case, what about we're going to be done with that field, with the exception of weeding. Let me check something real quick because I'm not sure if I remembered to turn off. No, off. So yeah, I was trying to figure out where did our money drop off so much. All I did was lease a baler, and then I realized I had not, or I let the helper pay for fertilizer and lime, so that didn't do our wallet any good, but that's okay. That's okay, we will make that up in the not too distant future, hopefully. So we've got this set for oats. I don't know how far this seeder's going to take that, but if the worker runs out, well, I've got plenty more seed. It's just a matter of refilling the thing. Alright, worker B, get on it. So our worker finished seeding field 11 with oats. That field is good to go, and as I suspected, by fertilizing, then plowing, and then seeding, fertilizing, that gave us a 100% fertilized state. So that field is pretty much completely done, with the exception of a little weed control. That was something I forgot to buy, was a weeder. We will rectify that soon enough. I finished up the lime and first fertilization on field 22. I'm going to go plow that now, and when that's done, we can look into planting something. We need to get these fields working to our benefit. Obviously field 11, that's going to go toward getting our horses up and running. Yeah, I'm definitely all over the horse idea. Definitely want to go with that. No doubt about it. So I am going to focus on getting this field planted. That's pretty much going to cover everything we wanted to get done for this first episode. Our soybeans will be planted here. We've got oats in the other field. That's ready to go, and then we will see where we're at when I'm done with this. But for now, I think we're going to say goodbye for episode 1. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a slog to sit through for you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I did enjoy doing this. It's something new, different, interesting, and a learning experience. And that's the most I can hope for. Anyway, until next time, get out there and do some farming. We'll see you. Bye-bye.